I never forget the exact moment when a boundary is broken. It happened on a Sunday night during dinner with my family. The room was filled with easy laughter, the kind that makes everything feel light, until her voice sliced through it, cold and dismissive. My wife's daughter, just 22, leaned back in her chair and said, "You're not even real family. Don't tell me what to do." Everything went still. My brothers looked at me, waiting to see how I'd react. My mother dropped her gaze, clearly uncomfortable on my behalf. I took a slow breath, steadying myself, keeping my composure. Later that evening, I spoke to her privately. There was no anger in my tone, no raised voice. I simply asked for respect. I reminded her that the home she lived in, the life she enjoyed, was something I had worked hard to build. But then my wife stepped in, and what she said cut deeper than the girl's insult ever could. "She's not your daughter. Don't try to discipline her." A burning pressure rose in my chest, yet my expression didn't change. I smiled, a faint, distant smile that meant nothing to anyone else in that room. But I understood it perfectly. That was the moment something between us shattered. I had married her mother 4 years earlier. I brought stability, financial security, and a genuine desire to build a family. I welcomed her daughter into my life without hesitation. I paid for her education, bought her a car, and tried to give her a strong foundation for the future. I believed kindness would soften her attitude. I believed time would turn us into a real family. I was mistaken. To her, I was never permanent, just a source of money, a convenience. And her mother encouraged that mindset. The same woman who once claimed to admire and respect me more than anyone else now stood beside her daughter, supporting her disrespect. That night, as I lay awake, the betrayal became clearer. It wasn't just about rude words anymore. It was about how they truly saw me. Replaceable. Insignificant. They were wrong. I didn't argue again. No shouting, no threats, just silence. I let them believe they had the upper hand. Meanwhile, I began to think carefully. First, I reviewed everything. The car was legally mine. Her tuition payments came from my accounts. The apartment she lived in near her university was under my name. Every piece of her comfort traced back to me. Then I called my lawyer, a man who handled matters efficiently and without unnecessary questions. By the next day, everything had changed. The car registration was withdrawn. Her university payments were stopped. The apartment lease was canceled. In less than 24 hours, the life I had provided for her was dismantled. The following morning, she came downstairs, casually scrolling through her phone, completely unaware. I was already seated at the table, dressed for work, holding my coffee. She stopped suddenly. Her voice shook as she asked, "Why does my student portal say my enrollment is canceled?" I said nothing. Moments later, she rushed outside. The driveway was empty. Her scream echoed through the house. When she came back in, her face had gone pale. "The landlord says the apartment is gone. What did you do?" Her mother hurried in behind her, panic written all over her face. "You can't just destroy her life like this." That's when I finally looked up, calm and composed. I placed my cup down carefully. "She's not my daughter," I said, repeating the words from the night before. "I don't correct her. I don't support her. Not anymore." Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. My wife's expression drained of color. The girl's confidence collapsed, replaced by fear. But I wasn't finished. This wasn't about a single reaction, it was about undoing everything. I shut down the shared account my wife had access to. I contacted the bank and froze the cards she had been using. Every comfort she enjoyed, clothes, jewelry, outings, had come from me. And I took it all back. Within days, reality set in. The daughter had to rely on her mother for basic things, rides, money, support. The university refused to let her continue without payment. The car remained locked away, out of reach. And my wife felt it too. Questions started coming from friends and relatives. She tried to maintain her composure, but it became clear that the stability she relied on had never truly belonged to her. A week later, they confronted me. I walked in to find both of them waiting. My wife's eyes were red, her daughter unusually quiet, stripped of her usual defiance. "You've proven your point," my wife said softly. But she's young. You can't go this far. I looked at them, both of them, no longer proud, only desperate. I didn't punish her, I replied calmly. I simply stopped giving. The daughter spoke then, her voice fragile. I'm sorry. It was the first apology I had ever heard from her. But it didn't come from understanding, it came from need. I gave a small nod, then turned to my wife. You made your choice. Don't forget that. Every choice carries consequences. That night, I slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. Not because I had torn them down, but because I had taken back control of my own worth. I reminded them of something simple. Respect isn't freely handed out. It's earned, and I no longer invest in those who treat me with contempt. This time, when I smiled, it wasn't cold. It was quiet, certain. They had tried to define my place. Instead, I made them understand theirs.